Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh my God, I've seen so much of you. I can't.
Yes.
It's astonishing.
Right. This is what it would be like if we were really friends. You'll be happy to know that when I'm in the Europa, my phone works. I'm not
happy.
Yeah. We'll check in. There's going to be 3 weeks when we won't talk to each other at all.
I know.
And I can't possibly save up. I won't remember. I just won't.
Make some notes. Bring a separate notebook. Bring a Jackie and Laurie notebook and just make notes.
You have them all. I have totes.
Oh, I'll give you one. I'll totes give you one.
I have I have things that I can carry around. You have notebooks. Yeah. I might have the inventory notebook. It's a great story. Hey, here we are doing the Jackie and Laurie Show. Is this one for April 22nd, Kyle? Possibly. We don't know.
2019, right? I don't even know what year we're in now. We're way far ahead. We're taping this March 31st.
Right. So this is almost 3 weeks in it. Yeah, this will be the last one.
Yes. I have my YouTube studio set up. Alex Cole came over and really helped me put it together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did it look?
Well, I'm going to record my little snippets tonight. I have it all ready to record and plug and play, and hopefully it doesn't look shitty.
Okay.
It probably will.
Initially, it might be troubled, but then it'll all jet.
Maybe I'm sure a few men will.
You're putting another iron in the fire.
Provide a criticism in the comments on how to do it better.
You can turn the comments off. I do. I always turn the comments off.
One of my YouTube heckler videos is somehow popping up on people's you also may like type.
Oh, okay.
And I'm getting like 3 or 4 comments a day. It's weird. It's like a 3-year-old video, and all of a sudden people are watching it.
Well, the internet is vast.
Yes, but all the critiques and here's what you should have done are from guys who clearly aren't stand-ups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And who cares? It is so.
Well, I don't care, but I read them. I'm interested. Maybe I won't.
Do you always read all the comments, like after doing a Conan or a TV set?
I read a lot of comments after Conan. I was just kind of curious because I was like, that's a good set. So whatever you can say, it's not going to hurt me. Like if you don't like me, okay, fine, I can't help it. If you hate women, I can't help you.
Right.
So I was just curious what the response. It's almost like
that's an incredibly sane way to read the comments. I was happy with that set. Doesn't matter what you said. I wonder what you're going to say.
Yeah, and it's like, what are we thinking about women now? It's almost like it's just a test of where society is when you look at comments on your YouTube channel on new videos and stuff like that.
Sure.
So we're not that far with women. That's what.
No,
that's my point.
Not. And but I read a couple of great articles today. One was an opinion article about the Pete guy running for president. And
Pete Buttigieg.
Is it Buttigieg?
Yes.
Good for you.
His husband said, just think Buddha and Judge. Buttigieg.
Okay,
and that really helped me.
That does help. And then the 6 women candidates that are currently...
And Elizabeth Warren's finance director just quit. She's having trouble coming up with enough money because she's not doing any big money donors. It's all $25, $5 people.
Right.
And so it's hurting her.
Right.
Oh, it sucks.
It sucks. But so the opinion thing was essentially just about the lens. The Buttigieg guy is getting just sort of a better pass at it than all the women.
Yeah.
As per usual. But all I did was post sort of a clip of how interesting that was and how it wasn't a slam on Pete. It wasn't a slam on that guy. It was just he was the example.
Yes.
And four men who I genuinely have known for 30 years were like, well, Pete's such a... And I was like, no. again, this is not what okay.
We're talking about the media and how they treat women.
Yes. And what the perception
And how
was.
this country treats women.
And here's the other thing. I read an article in the Hollywood Reporter today. It was an interview with, and I don't know how new it was. I think it was new.
Yeah.
With Chris Evans, who plays the Captain America.
He plays my husband in my dreams.
Yeah. Did you know that he went out with a comic?
Who?
Jenny Slate. Did you know that Jenny Slate was a comic?
Oh, I know Jenny Slate. Yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
Jenny Slate is my biggest problem.
She was New York based for a long time.
New York stand-up. Oh,
Yes,
good.
and she was on SNL for a while, and she got fired for accidentally saying "fuck" on SNL.
Oh, shit, that was her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, it was stupid.
And, so she, so he's talking about how much he hates Trump and how much he is, what he wants to do next after this next movie. And he's plugging the movie and he's doing all the things. It's the longest fucking article in the world. But one of the paragraphs was about how when he went out with Jenny Slate, she suggested that he read this book. It was a book of essays about how the patriarchy sort of affects women in general.
Wow.
And he said the line was really good. It was something like, you can't know something until you know something. And it was just really, he just sounds like a relatively sane dude. And then there were all these quotes from Robert Downey Jr. was like, the guy is just, he's genuinely a good guy. Someone was getting her Oscar and she kind of tripped a little bit and he scooted up and immediately helped her up the steps. I forget who it was. Right. Well, and there was another great line who said when he first took the Captain America, he was like, how do you make that guy interesting? Because that guy's like, no, I'll help you move. Yeah, if you need someone to walk your dog. How is that interesting in a superhero? And he has made him interesting.
Yeah, sure.
So,
that's cool that Jenny Slate did that.
Yeah. So
I wonder what the book was. Did it?
Yeah, she mentioned it, but I'll find the link. I posted it on my Facebook page. You could see it. So I did a lot of sets this weekend.
Yeah.
One of them was great. The other three were fine. They were not.
Got the job done.
They got the job done, which is not what I'm looking for in stand-up comedy.
Dude, sometimes it's a job.
Sometimes
you got to kill or do your very best, and the crowd's not giving anything back to you, and you got to pretend like they are.
Well, you know what? And I will say this, is the other three sets. Okay, so Friday first show I was at Flappers, Burbank.
Right.
Friday first show, magical. I said everything right, came up with new lines.
Yeah.
One of my new bits worked so perfectly. It was great. The next three shows, it almost worked. So it was close. It was one time I got the last half. If it's not going to go well, the last half going well I'll take that.
Yes, right.
Because mumble, punchline hits.
Yes.
Yay, we all win.
Right.
So the last three shows, they were the second show Friday was so lightly attended, and the energy was low. But Virginia Jones ended up featuring I asked Danielle Perez, but she got the stomach flu last minute.
Yeah,
and so then Virginia Jones did it and freaking murdered. Had like these two new jokes that I had not heard of hers that were
funny. Man, I just saw her at the Ice House about 2 weeks ago. Really
God,
funny.
she destroyed. It was wonderful. And then second, Saturday night, both shows were fine. They were just a little messy because I was trying to figure out order.
Yeah.
And when you change the order in a 45-minute set, you get lost and you figure out that you forgot to do something.
Yes.
And they liked all of the different bits, but they were not in the order to which I wish to put them all in a row.
Right.
So, and I ended up selling stuff Friday and Saturday first shows. And, did pretty good.
That's cool. I'm there in May.
That's right. You're headlining a weekend?
Yeah, Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, nice.
I hope I can sell some books.
The Sundays too? The Sunday as well?
Sunday I'm going up to Grass Valley for a Mother's Day show in the afternoon.
A specific Mother's Day show.
Yeah, at a theater in Grass Valley, which
Where's
is a little
Grass?
It's about an hour north of Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm flying out and then driving back and flying back. It'll be like an 8-hour day.
Yes, that's a lot, with an hour show at the end of it.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
But I had a set tonight. I did Atsuka's show at the Dynasty. It was fun.
Oh, good.
And I just did a spot,
Oh, just a normal spot?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I have like one.
It looked like it was themed.
It's the back half of the show.
Okay. Back half of the show is a game show of some sort.
Yeah. And I kind of wanted to watch, but I had to come back here and,
And talk to me.
No, I had to put my kid to bed.
Yeah.
and then talk to you.
Yes.
And then I had 4 sets on Saturday.
Here in Los Angeles?
Yeah, and they were all at least 30 minutes apart. I had one at not a sorority, but like a house where students live.
Oh, by USC?
Yes,
I've
it wasn't.
done that.
Yeah, no, you haven't. It's a different one.
Oh, it is.
But it's right near there.
This is what I think about the students of USC having us come to them. Come to a comedy club. I feel like I'm being brought on the backs of elephants.
And I didn't feel like I could make a water polo joke. Or, I'm like, oh, it's too fresh for these guys. But it was somebody's like thesis about women in comedy, and it culminated in a stand-up show. Well, it was fun.
Yeah,
and it was fun-ish.
And they have to do something.
Yes.
So I am as supportive as I possibly can.
It was outdoors. It was in a
driveway.
The front yard.
Front yard.
Yes, and so
have you done the driveway one?
I have.
Okay.
And it was around 5:30 in the afternoon, so it was light. And there's just USC students walking back and forth, and it was just. It was almost like doing street magic or street.
Busking.
Yes, exactly.
You've taken up some.
But I got a very cool baseball hat out of it.
Oh,
it
did you?
Yes, bitches. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
That is fun.
And then I was at the Laugh Factory, and I had a 7:45 at the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
So I got there around 7. It was kind of a pain in the ass to getting to USC. It's like rush hour on Saturday afternoon. It's ridiculous. So. Then the Laugh Factory, that's good. It was good.
Good.
It was.
You were early in the show at 7:45.
Yeah, it was nice. Okay, so and it was like Saturday night, so I didn't really fuck around or anything.
Yeah.
I did try this bit I've been working on for a long time. I put it after a really really strong chunk just to see how it would hold up, and it did not.
Oh.
Well, it didn't do as well.
Right.
Right. They were like, "Wow, this lady's amazing," and then they're like, "Oh, we don't get this." But
beat from beat.
But it's good to see if it's something you normally close on. If you put it early, and then just see if another joke can follow it.
Yeah.
Just to see where it is.
Yeah. Just mix up the order.
See how strong it is.
Yeah. See how strong and.
And then I was at
that's 2.
That's 2. Then I rushed over to the Blue Rooster, which is an art supply store in Hollywood. But in the back, they have like a performance area that they also teach classes and do like you can draw a nude model and stuff like that. So it's in a different part of the store behind it.
So there's a performance space.
Yeah, so that was fun.
And they had a show.
Yeah, they had a show.
I would do
Megan
that.
Gailey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then I went to a backyard show. So I started in a front yard and I ended in a backyard.
Oh, I wondered what that tweet meant.
Yeah. And that was Jamie.
Where was that?
Oh my God. Blah. I'm blanking on the last name. But anyway, it was in NoHo. And
oh, wow.
yeah, it was really fun. And I was rushing, and then I got there like 45 minutes early, and I started to get really tired, and I'm like, I want to be home.
Oh, right.
And then Lizzie Cooperman just destroyed right in front of me, and I'm like, I want to go home. Can I just fly away?
Yeah.
And then this set ended up being really fun.
Sure.
And it was good. And that's one I need to listen to because I think I said stuff correctly. But the other thing I'm finding out is like I keep tweaking these little details so much that I forget which tweak I'm on. And I'll be telling the joke or the bit and I'll be like, wait, how am I trying it tonight? And that one hair of a second where you're like wondering, that's when you lose the audience and however you try it, it's not going to work like it should because you aren't 100% there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but I did come up with a new add-on to a joke that's like hit or miss that maybe will make it more hit, and a new joke that precedes that one that I think helps kind of pave the way a little bit.
Fair enough. I've got all these like sort of these big stories that genuinely they need weeks of work, like
Right.
if I'm going to tell the story of my dad, the hospital bill story.
Yeah.
It isn't an 8-minute bit anymore. It's a 3.5-4 minute bit now,
Right.
which is great. But I would like it to be a 3-minute bit.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to remember something. So I went to my last album, and I believe that you eever listen? No, you probably not. But, but
You can answer that question before you
I can
finish
answer.
it.
It's because sometimes I'll be listening to the albums, my old albums, in an effort to either remember jokes for a specific show, or to make sure I'm not going to repeat a joke on the next album.
Right.
And I will listen to the track. Then that's how I split up the jokes. And I was listening to the Heroes album, and I'm like, that should have been 4 jokes. I should be getting 4 different royalties on that, because if I
right.
cut the tracks too long, they play the whole track.
Yeah, and you only get
You get the 12 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I don't. But whenever I do a new album, I have complete control over where the tracks break.
Yeah.
Obviously, and well, I ought.
Yeah.
But but I need to remember this in the next album, that it'd be nice to split them up into different, like, smaller chunks.
Yeah, although could a station go, hey, we don't want to play this whole 5 minutes of Jackie Cation because it costs us $9 instead of 5 minutes of some other comic who didn't break their setup that way?
Right, like an 8-minute. I don't know that I'm not, in my Sound Exchange money, I'm not getting any sort of. People aren't playing the hospital. The spoiler alert, he lives. Is the 8-minute bit I'm talking about. That's not coming up in the royalty statements.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I think that the other thing is much like, which is weird because comedy stations, there isn't a lot of chatter in between.
Yeah.
It's literally just one comic after another, and here's another bit, and here's another bit.
Yeah.
So an 8-minute chunk would be great if whoever was programming but I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think that they program in the moment.
Yeah.
I think they do it 8 hours in advance.
It's probably some algorithm programming the entire station, right? Is a person
Anybody
program
know? We don't know. I'd like to think that, because I had a job in college where I ran. I played. It was like a PBS. It was like a public station, and I would play these old tapes. And it was a work study job. I got paid to do it, and it was for anybody who was up and wanted to watch weird. And I could put almost anything in, and I played a lot of the Frank Capra "Why We Fight" series, which was this series of propaganda documentaries that Frank Capra made.
Yeah.
To sell World War II to people.
Oh, wow. Were you trying to start another war?
No. I found them fascinating. And a couple of them my shift was something like 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
And some of them lasted like 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
So I would only have to put in like 2 or 3 tapes, and I could do homework. Oh. So it was entirely.
It sounds like some of the comedy channels are also programming the same way.
Well, that's what I would assume that they're playing. Like, you could put an 8-minute bit on of somebody's and then go to the bathroom.
Right.
Right? But if you put in like a bunch of Mitch Hedberg tracks and they're a minute and a half each.
I don't think that's how they do it.
I don't think that's how they do it either anymore.
Yeah.
So, did you see Doug Stanhope was plugging? There's going to be a comedy club in Bisbee.
Yes, and the guy emailed me, and I gotta email him back
because I went to look at the website, and there's no calendar.
Well, I think
it's
they're
opening this weekend. It's this weekend is the first weekend.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you do? Fly into Tucson, I guess, and drive, right?
I don't know how far Bisbee is.
Because otherwise that's like a 10 or 12, 11-hour drive, I think. It's pretty brutal.
But
on Saturday
Tucson's
night?
only like 6 hours.
No, Tucson's more than 6 hours.
Phoenix is 6 hours.
Oh, Tucson's 9.
Yeah, Tucson's a day.
Okay. So, Oh, so you got a date?
No, I will. I got
Okay.
You just reminded me to email that guy back.
Oh, that's because
I'll bring my kid. We'll go see Tombstone.
Is Tombstone down there?
It's
By
nearby.
Bisbee?
Yeah,
Okay.
be a fun day.
I want to get back into Stir Crazy too in Phoenix. I was just reminded
Oh yeah,
because that's been a year.
yeah.
And it's usually a year. And then my friend Steve Young just moved. Do you know Steve Young?
Yeah.
Stand-up comic. He
Yeah.
just left Los Angeles and
For where?
moved to Phoenix.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
It's affordable.
yeah, he's done.
What do you mean he's done?
He's done living here and trying to make it here. He's like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna go somewhere affordable and still do what I do.
Yeah.
Which is and hopefully he'll get plenty of sets in Phoenix.
It's got a good scene. I went to this Saturday was like, so in addition to 4 spots driving all over the place,
Right.
I left the house at 4:30 and I was driving and performing for 7 hours, maybe 6 hours. In the morning, I went to this WGA meeting.
Oh, right, because of the vote.
Yeah. Here's the thing. First of all, I was a little behind on my dues. I forget stuff. So I wasn't, my account
You
was
weren't
in
current?
arrears.
Yes.
And I sent them a check, but they didn't get it in time for my vote. But I did say, I'm voting. If you can squeeze my vote in, my check's in the mail. It's coming.
Yeah.
But basically we all, everyone voted. It was almost unanimous. It was like 95%.
Right. There was something like only 382 people said that they wouldn't fire their agents.
That they were fine with packaging and
Yeah.
making less money. It's just like, okay, all right, good for you. So I don't know, it's April.
What's the next step?
Well, if the agents don't agree to sign to this code of conduct, which
Yeah.
is basically saying we're not going to participate in packaging,
Yeah.
then we en masse fire our agents,
Right.
all of us, which is crazy. I mean, it's weird because I'm in a package situation where I don't pay a commission to my agent because he's with WME and WME
Right.
packages Conan, the Conan show. So it's kind of, I am keeping 10 extra % because of packaging.
Because of packaging.
I don't know how much I'm losing because the scale hasn't, risen that
Right.
much because there's no incentive for anyone to say, hey, scale should raise. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
who knows? But when you look at the way they presented all the money that agents are taking and how they're not representing their clients in any of these situations, it's
Right.
like,
And they're
this
not
is-
representing anyone individually. And so it's such a weird.
Yeah, it's so obviously not what an agent does. Like
Right, the whole purpose
you
of-
have another job.
Right.
And that's fine. You could have that job, but you also, when you're an agent, it's like a legal thing. Like you're not supposed to work against your client, and so maybe you don't want that job anymore. Why are you
'cause
trying to do both jobs?
You got to recuse yourself from one of those two jobs.
Yes, like
'Cause
Jeff
they are-
Sessions.
Is in complete opposition of those two tasks.
Yeah.
So either agree that you're going to have one job.
Yeah.
And you're going to either be really good at it and make all the money in the world, or you're just going to be okay at it and just make a living, or you're not going to be good at it. And you're not going to just keep getting part of packaging.
Yeah, I mean,
that
kind
'cause
of.
they're playing like teams, right? Aren't they? The
What do you mean?
agencies, like they're a team, and they have a
WME
bench.
is about to be bought by a hedge fund, which means, and you know
I
what?
looked that up when you were saying that last time.
When they when that happens to a newspaper, they start firing reporters because a hedge fund, their only goal is to make shareholders happy. And so your goal is supposed to make your clients happy.
Right.
Your
But-
goal is to get them work, and then you take 10% of it, not to worry about a shareholder. It doesn't make any sense that these two
I
things
looked up
exist
like
together.
who owns the top 10 agencies in town.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are owned by hedge funds.
Yeah.
Currently. And some of them are owned by they're privately owned, and some of them are owned by 2 guys who are the sons of the 2 guys who started it in 1968.
Goldwyn or whatever.
But yeah, the the game is changed to game the individuals and to support the
just like
behemoth.
everything else.
Yeah.
We're all working to make shareholders happy.
Right.
That's what this country's becoming. It's really disturbing. Anyway, hopefully this pushback will work, and maybe that will inspire or help other industries go. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they can exactly, but I mean, it's so distressing what's happening to newspapers and news agencies.
Right. Well, the whole world's getting. I mean, we're all just loose in a bingo ball, and we're just all getting shaken up, and we don't know how it'll all work out. But I think. I tend to think that on the other side of all of this sort of genuine nightmare stuff,
You mean like
kids in cages and stuff like that, it's that we will come through this stronger, and the casualties are real, but we will come through it not necessarily. And when I say we, I'm talking about humanity. I'm not talking about nations or whatever. But I think that there will be another time when justice is served correctly, where it isn't being. I mean, it'll be manipulated as it always has been, but on they keep moving the goalposts.
it's just whack-a-mole. It's if you look through
right now
history,
it's whack-a-mole.
you're just okay. We put this fire out, and then it's another one over here. It's so
right.
It's things
And throughout
progress
history,
a little bit, but then you look at like the attempt at this abortion law in Georgia. It's like what?
Yep, and Kentucky too.
We're going back to going back to real.
I saw some weird tweet. It was just all it was is in the 90s, science was like, "Hey, we've invented cloning. We sent a robot to Mars, and now scientists in 2019, the Earth is round. It's round,
Right.
you guys. Stop." And so like there's this celebration of morons and idiots.
Yeah.
And this, they're gonna. There's a science fiction book called A Canticle for Leibowitz where they killed everyone who could read in the beginning of the book because they blamed all the problems on.
Well, we're safe now. I can't read 2 pages without falling asleep. And
What about
checking
how's your
Twitter.
math skills?
Oh my God.
How they coming along?
Okay.
I think we're at a half an hour, by the way. 26. Let's throw to a Max Fun. Let's take a break and hear about Max Fun.
If you like MaximumFun.org podcasts, chances are you are an enthusiastic consumer of good media.
Which is why we're here to tell you about the Outlier Show on MaximumFun.org. The one that just doesn't fit.
The Greatest Generation is a Star Trek podcast by a couple of guys who are a little bit embarrassed to have a Star Trek podcast, and that MaximumFun.org is probably a little bit embarrassed to call one of its shows.
And that, more than anything, should inspire you to subscribe and download The Greatest Generation. What is this thing?
Why is it here?
Who listens?
All of these answers can be found if you subscribe to The Greatest Generation using your podcatcher or by going to MaximumFun.org.
Did you hear about Max Fun? Because we're just now.
We're back.
But we could also do this thing where we talk about the comic of the week.
Yes.
It was Shaondalia.
You worked with her.
I worked with Shaondalia White this weekend. She emceed all 4 shows. Just really like the stuff is personal and it's smart and it's great. She's grinding it out and really doing her job. So Shaondalia White is Shondalia, and then the last name's White. So White. And that's her Twitter handle, @Shaondalia White.
Cool.
So check her out.
Definitely.
And she did she's married, she's black, she's married to an Armenian guy. Does many jokes about that. I mean, that's some comedy gold. They're relatively newly married, so she's got. I'm sure she's working on a half hour.
Sure. Especially when you're new to a relationship and they're that different from you, it's like, oh, let me have a feast. This is amazing.
Right. And then Friday night, Mary Basmajian did the guest set spot at Flappers, and so she did another 10 minutes about being Armenian. So by the time I got up, I didn't have to do anything about it.
Have to or get to?
Have to.
Okay.
And then the next night,
Do you feel obligated to talk about being Armenian
sometimes
in Burbank?
In Burbank, yes. I feel like
It
I
needs
should
to be
address
addressed.
it.
Yes.
Because there's so many Armenians out in the audience, and I'm like, you saw my name, you came to the show.
They see IAN in a
that's why they've
surname,
come.
and they just make reservations nonstop.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're destined for disappointment. And you insert the word Armenian guys when I talk about my dad. That's all I can tell you. And so, though I will say the woman who did, it was somebody, it was one of the comics just wandering around at Flappers.
A loose comic at Flappers.
Loose comics at Flappers. And when I first moved here, people used to say this to me. They were like, so your dad's Armenian? And I was like, yeah. And they said, so was your mom white? And I was like, I always thought my dad was white. In Wisconsin, Armenians are white, and or passing for white. I'm uncertain what, but all I know is that this is super pale, and has been receiving all the benefits of being a white lady.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was all kinds of drama.
I feel uncomfortable saying you don't look Armenian, but I'll say
if you look deeply into my eyes, I will sell you a rug. I look exactly like my father.
I'm afraid to look deeply into your eyes.
It would be awkward. I will have to say this, is that you've seen the picture of my great uncle Haji.
Yes.
And it's so
Amazing.
funny because we have the same face and the same eyes. And he came from rural Turkey.
Okay.
And
but a lot of negativity on Twitter this weekend.
oh my God, so much. Just who's the mean guy who made fun of Patton's
First wife. I don't know. I don't know.
I could tell that he was trying to riff.
Yeah.
And I was like, you didn't fucking know Michelle, and I barely knew her.
Yeah.
And it still hurts my heart to think that you would say such a fucking thing.
It's kind of gross.
It's just gross and mean.
You know, you gotta know somebody really well to do that. And maybe you don't do it on Twitter. You do it at a roast where they're there. You know what I mean? Like, I can see how you do that kind of a joke in that situation.
If you were best friends with Patton and Meredith and sitting at there, and then you were best friends.
Yes.
You're Blaine Capatch. You're sitting at dinner. You would know better than to say, hey, Meredith, I hope you don't fall asleep because that's how his first wife died.
Right.
Which is what Chad Zumach said. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
He's a comic, though, and he's over at All Things Comedy where the Red Forest is.
Yeah.
But he's one of these, but I was talking to Augie
He's one of these
Smith.
what?
He's just one of those, the broy dudes, you know? He's a dude bro who doesn't know when to shut up.
But that's always sort of existed, and it's weird. Like when you're hanging out with guys like that in person, it's fine, you know.
Yeah, you just it all
You can sling it back, and
right. It all blends into itself.
And what they say when they're saying it sounds a lot less,
horrible than when they type it.
Horrible, right? It looks so bad on Twitter. It doesn't work on Twitter.
Doesn't work, dude.
As well.
No.
And it makes some people are coming off as alt-right, and I'm like, I know that you're not like that, but why are you writing like this? And are you just like Kevin Brennan, who I think's so funny, and I like Kevin Brennan, and
I don't know
he makes
him
me
either.
laugh a lot.
Yeah.
But he's coming off lately as like new angry middle-aged white guy, and I'm like,
oh wait, did he have the sad sack? Was he kind of sad about said something like Jussie's? Did he say that he would get work before he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it was kind of a joke because Kevin's not an actor anyway. So if any actor's going to get work before he does,
right?
But it could also be taken as him just feeling sorry for himself. So, and I think a lot of people did take it. But I was like, was he? Did he just? Was that joke?
Where did that come
a little
from?
Too subtle or something?
Right.
I don't know, but it's weird how a bunch of white guys are really sounding like white guys. It's like, you guys you're comics. What are you doing?
Right, you're comics. You should be comics first, and you should figure out where the joke is, and you need to be able to look at yourselves. Yeah,
but to us, it's like that's not clear. But but maybe that's building an audience for those guys of other people that either they get it or they don't get it, but they like that it was said. I don't know. Here's the thing: we're all just we're going off into our corners with our little audience that agrees with us, and I don't know that that's good.
The niche thing is it's inevitable with the internet, of course,
right?
But, I think it can be good, but I think it can build walls around you too. But the weird thing is if it's a good guy. Right? Like if Kevin Brennan's a good guy and now all these alt-right guys think he's their guy.
Right.
They're going to come to his shows and he might be psyched because the numbers are up. But then he has to hang out with douchebags.
No, he doesn't. You could tell you can tell jokes that are like on they're worded carefully so it'll make you seem like you're one way when you're not that way. And the crowd will be like, "Oh," and they'll
like that Dice thing or Jesselnick or
maybe. I don't think Jesselneck, but you can take a stand without taking a stand, right? And tell some sexist jokes, but you pull back just a little bit so it's not terrible, or some race stuff, but you pull back just at the end so it's not you're not Ben Shapiro.
That sounds far too nuanced for any comics that I know.
No, but I think that some people do that, and they need the audience. We all need an audience.
Yep.
We all need sold out shows. We all need to sell our merch afterwards.
That'll be
right?
great. That'll be great.
So are you willing to tell a couple jokes that sort of are a wink and a nudge to a certain group of people?
I am not.
That I know it's just.
Right.
I know you're not, but I'm saying I think some people are, some comics are, because we're all trying to find a place.
Because that's what you think that's what they might be doing,
maybe,
or someone is doing that.
Maybe
for sure, some people are doing that. That they aren't monsters,
right?
That they're just trying.
Podcast is one way, and it's going to get a certain kind of listener, and those people come to the show.
But I've actually heard, and I say I've actually heard what I haven't actually heard.
Right.
I've heard people tell me that, so I haven't heard this. There is some scuttlebutt that Jesselnick doesn't particularly like his audiences.
Oh, really?
Yes. That he has this following now of these douchebags. That he's like, I have. And I've lit a fire under some bad guys,
right?
And I think the power that you have as a stand-up comic, and that sentence alone is troubled.
What do you mean?
I got a sigh from Kyle.
Oh,
to say the power the power of all art. It just sounds douchebaggy, and but it is true, is that if Kevin Hart is doing stadiums, and he puts in, a little bit of hate at Rome, that's a Jesus Christ Superstar line. Anyway, but if he puts in a little bit of hate, whether it's Kevin Hart or it's Dice Clay or if it's Brian Regan, you have to, I think, you have to know what you're doing. I think if you're a comic and you are just floundering around, just trying to get more seats in the room,
I don't think guys at that level are floundering around. But I think
not those three that I mentioned.
There's mid-level comics that are trying to get something going, you know, and they're white guys in a time when. The industry hasn't turned against white guys, but it might feel like it because there's partial interest in women.
The smallest amount of interest in the non-white guys. So it just feels like you're just being attacked from all sides.
Yes. Yeah. So there's I think a frantic struggle to figure out where your place is, and if you kind of came up thinking your place would be here, and all of a sudden, oh no, we're eliminating that place. It's like, oh fuck, what do I do? And maybe
they aren't eliminating that place.
No,
that
but
place
it feels
is
like it.
But if your perception
if you lost
tells
one
you
spot, you feel like your place was
your
eliminated.
place has been usurped.
And Glenn Beck started as a stand-up.
Well, Alex
that's
Cole,
what I'm wondering. Are we going to lose? Are some of these guys going to peel off into just some alt-rightness?
Yeah, we are.
Wow.
We're totally going to lose those fucking dudes. And you're just like, what are you you doing for stage time? You know, and
Right.
And it is a commitment that I'm not saying it's not tempting. You know, we could all get puppets and fucking stand in front of large couches, and I mean, we could
Large
all
couches.
It was Gallagher,
Oh.
and it infuriated me as a child. So the Gallagher large couch infuriated me as a child because I thought it was bad writing. But it had nothing to do with me, so it doesn't matter what other people choose to do on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I am fascinated when I see people sell the fuck out. And it hurts my heart when I know a guy where I've said this a gajillion times. He's not that. I mean, he means he's not that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, he's essentially selling Home Depot tiki torches to
Right.
shitbags.
Right.
And you're like, well, then we don't talk.
Did Owen Benjamin start as just a normal kind of douchebag?
I don't know him.
Okay.
I don't know any of the. All I know is, from what I heard, is, and I don't have this under. I don't have all of the.
Yeah.
I don't know that this happened.
Right.
But this guy said to this guy when he
Wait,
saw
who's
him,
this? Oh, okay. Yeah.
"We don't talk anymore.
Oh.
He said, you and I aren't friends. We don't talk anymore."
Wow.
And he confronted him about it, and he said, we don't do it. And I can see him doing it too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it is, that's more the person I want to be. You know, that's
Right.
That's, if you want to create a castle and it's built on the bones of you almost telling a bitch's man joke, or you almost telling a racist joke,
Right.
that's your decision. But I don't want to hang out with you,
Right.
because like this guy, this Chad Zumock guy, Augie was telling. I had ice cream with Augie and his wife and his kids tonight, and he was saying, the first time I met that guy was in St. Louis. I was headlining a St. Louis club, and I was like, "What club?" I've never played St. Louis, and he gets there, and the club owner says, "Hey, there's a guest set," and Augie goes, "Okay," and he says, "It's Chad Zumock," and he said, "I don't know him, but is there a problem?" And the club owner said, "This guy sent him."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
really good friends.
Okay.
And Og goes, "Oh well, I
trust him.
I trust him. I
Yeah.
bet $5. And what's wrong with him?" And he said, Chad Zumock he got there 3 hours early, and he was in the mall making karate chops as he did laps around the mall.
What?
He was just making karate chops
What?
as he walked around the mall.
What is happening?
I don't know, but this is probably several years ago, probably, and this is the first night Augie meets him. And Augie,
Jackie, it might be a good way to warm up. Now,
Right.
let's not discount it right off the
that's
bat.
what Augie said. And Augie said, "Well, a guy I trust sent him, right?" And so he says to the club owner, "I will bet you $5 that guy turns out to be funny." So the guy goes up. He's a minute into the set.
Yeah.
Augie walks up to the club owner with a $5 bill in his hand and just hands it to him.
Oh my god!
And Augie told me tonight, he said, I told that story to Chad about 6 months ago. And I said, I would never tell that story. But because of the joke he did about Patton's wife, fuck that guy. So feel free to tell that story on the Jackie and Laurie show. And I said, I will.
Cool.
Yeah. So Og's one of the good ones.
Oh, yeah,
You know that.
definitely.
And I forgot to ask him because he did that show out on Long Island that I did.
Can I just say something too? Like,
Yeah.
Chad, he protected his tweets after a day,
Oh, really?
and I just like to. I'm not bragging, but the president's mistress came after me.
Yeah.
And sent her,
a million.
her moronic followers after me.
Yeah.
And it was like a couple days of muting everything.
Yeah.
I never protected my tweets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you took your you took your chops.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll stand up for what I said.
I had Cindy Campanera on the Dork Forest.
Yeah.
Speaking of the word retarded, because Cindy Campanera, her dorkdom was old NYPD Blue episodes, like old procedurals.
Okay.
And she was talking about an episode, and she said that in NYPD Blue they used the word retarded with this guy, and then she said they used that word, and then Cindy herself would use mentally challenged, which is the word that has changed. Right?
Yeah.
We used to say, because that was a clinical medical term.
Right. Retarded.
Yes. And now it is mentally challenged or
Okay.
whatever.
Developmentally
disabled. 1,000 words later.
Right.
And then all of it leads me to Doug Stanhope's joke about how doesn't matter what you call him, his buddy Jim or whatever is still going to call him that thing. So you can't fix Jim.
Yeah.
So call people that need a little extra help and love, whatever you want to call them. But it's what in your heart. Yeah.
But the language has moved on.
The language has moved on.
And so you either jump.
I'm willing to go with the language.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to have that argument.
But I do. But the thing is you are not afraid to stand. I delete most of my tweets all the time. Like I have a bot that deletes all of my tweets from days gone by. We've talked about it. You think there might have been some comedy gold there. I'm almost certain there wasn't. I'm pretty sure. I fell for the thing Matt Oswalt pointed out, who's Patton's brother.
He's funny.
Very funny.
Yes.
God, that guy's funny.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't do stand-up, right?
No, he's a writer guy.
Okay.
And also a very nice photographer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but he pointed out, because so there was a guy, it was like Matthew Cherry, I don't know, I forget who I was following, who actually asked for stories of white privilege, hashtag white privilege.
Oh yeah.
And so I posted
I got a little
one.
suspicious of that one. I saw.
So I posted one, and then Matt Oswalt was like, hey, building a statue to yourself, or whatever, however he put it, right? And I was like, I'll be deleting because I fell for it. I am so sorry. So, and I deleted my tweet, but I left up my, hey, I was a moron. I fell for the thing, and I was a dum-dum. Because I'm not going to deny that I did a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. Well, who cares? This will have been 3 weeks after that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, it's right. We're in a whole new age. Are we still in NATO? Somebody tell me we're still in NATO.
A comedian might be the president of the Ukraine. Ukraine, sorry, no the.
No the.
Yeah, because right now he's polling second, I think, and the top two vote getters go to a runoff, so he might be.
Oh, that's
president of
interesting.
Ukraine.
It's all I know is when I get back from this thing.
Yeah.
I've got 3 shows in town, which will be great, and then I'm doing that Portland, Oregon Livewire thing on the 3rd.
Oh, cool.
So,
I will be at the Juke Joint in Houston, May 31st through.
Oh, at
June
the end
2nd.
of May.
Yeah, very end.
So it'll be a month from when this drops.
Yeah,
I'm
you
doing,
can buy your tickets though.
Yeah, you can buy.
I'll also be at in Palm Springs on May 18th.
May 10th and 11th, I'm in the Cape Fear Comedy Festival in North Carolina, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, that's Mother's Day weekend. That's when I'm in Grass Valley.
And then I'm doing Helium Portland, the 16, 17, with Maria, 16, 17, 18.
Oh, cool.
And then going to Eugene with Maria in the 19th or 20th. And then I'm doing Women Crush Wednesday again. It's been a year and a half.
A year and a half? Jesus, that's a while.
It is a while, but I think there's so many women comics, and Marcella's trying to mix it up.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
That's great. So, I am. I'm happy. I'm feeling the pressure of putting another album out, but I'm also rejecting that pressure.
I am also rejecting pressure
Are you?
because I felt like, oh, I got to do another late night set. I got to squeeze another 5 minutes together. It is no fun trying to put together 5 minutes.
Nope.
You know, it's
fun
because I also did it last summer for Montreal and the gala. You know, I was like, oh,
I remember that. I remember
perfect. And I'm tired of that feeling. It's not fun, and I keep harping over the same joke over and over again for months, and I don't feel free
There's no
and
joy.
wild.
Yeah.
Right.
So are you sort of letting it go a little bit?
Letting it go a little bit. I mean, I will I will revisit maybe in a couple months and see what do I have. Is there or do I have enough short jokes? Can I put it all together that way? But I don't want to freak out about another late night set. Like I have a good one that I did, and if I die in a plane crash or whatever, you know, go to my last Conan. That's put that on my tombstone. That's fine. Like I want my next one to be as good as that one.
Right.
So I'm willing to wait until everything's as solid as it should be.
Fair enough. It's my thing is that I know that if I could work a solid 11, 12 weeks on the road, just doing 5 to 7 shows a week, I would get I'd get this 45 tight. And then I wrote what I think is a kind of this gender joke I think has the potential to be a new closer.
That's great.
Yeah, which is because it leads into this condom thing that is also very interesting. It's got. So what I'm saying is that the really cool gender joke might turn into a dick joke, which is what I could close on. And thank you for playing.
Yes. Yay.
Which I don't know why. I don't always end on a dick joke, but I almost always end on a dick joke.
You got to end on a dick. It makes people happy.
People
especially if you've been
thinking
hitting
about sex.
issues for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
then you end on dicks. Everyone's
and
happy.
Dogs, somebody, puppies and kittens and pillows.
It
Whatever,
really is the kitten and goat video of stand-up comedy is a dick joke. Everyone's happy when they see
Unlikely
it.
friends, this dick joke. That'll be very fun for me. Mm-hmm. Where do you think we are, Kyle?
We are at 50.
Okay.
Want to break again?
I thought it'd be further along.
Send us to Max Fun.
Hi, I'm Allie Gertz.
And I'm Julia Prescott, and we're the hosts of
Everything's Coming Up Simpsons.
Every episode, we cover a different episode of The Simpsons that is a favorite of our special guests.
We've had guests that are showrunners and writers and voice actors like Nancy Cartwright.
I got a D-, I passed!
And we've also had people that are on the Max Fun Network already.
We've had Weird Al Yankovic on the show.
I was just struck by how sharp the writing is. I mean, that's no surprise because it's The Simpsons, but I mean, like, you can't say that about a lot of TV shows, particularly ones that at that point had been on the air for 14 years.
Find us on MaximumFun.org, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, smell you later.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, wow.
How was that? Was that fun for you guys? It was 2 seconds for us. It wasn't fun for me.
Huzzah. What else is happening?
I'll be in... Oh, I'll just have to come back from New York when this drops.
Another New York run.
Mm-hmm. I'm
doing the Bell House with Maria.
When?
In September.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. That'll be...
Jackie, you have so many cool gigs lined up.
I have cool gigs, but I kind of want... I've been emailing my agent and who books kind of the cooler headline, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I work at these... Like, I've never done Dead Crow.
Where's that?
In North Carolina. Yeah.
Is it a club or
it's a club.
festival?
It's a weekend club.
Oh, really?
It's the Cape Fear place.
Yeah, that's where Cape Fear is. But hopefully I'll get in after this. And that
sounds fun. Is it a Friday, Saturday?
I believe so. Yeah, in North Carolina, the Dead Crow, that's a Friday, Saturday, right? 4 shows.
I want to work all these clubs. I want to work every club.
No, I know. That's where we're in this room together. The 3 of us. The 3 of us all want to work every club. Yes, we completely support your dream. It turns out. I know. And then there's new ones that are supposed to be super cool. And that's one of them. That is one of the new ones that's supposed to be super cool. It's only like 2 or 3 years old, right?
And is super cool code for don't pay very much?
No. Maybe. All right. Kyle thinks absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say you could probably get some money out of him. And so all I know is that stir crazy. No, I'm wrong. Like the stir crazy, I was looking at. I was psyched because I had not heard. You know how a girl likes to be asked.
Yes.
I would have thought that he would have emailed me and said, "Hey, it's been a year. Do you want to come back to stir crazy?" But he has not, which means that it's going well. And but I went and I looked at his calendar, and Debbie Gutierrez is back in April, and I worked, I believe, a couple of weeks after her the last time.
You are tracking other comedians when they're working.
Yeah, and then.
That is a rabbit hole. Wow. Congratulations for remembering that stuff.
Well, it's I have a recurring thing on my calendar that says send avails. And it comes up once a month.
Yeah.
And I usually ignore it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to send avails too often. You want to send them. I like to send avails for the next 3 months. So I like to send and I like to send on a Sunday. And I've said it before, though.
But they have their headliners mostly booked for the next 3 months. Most clubs,
I think they book 3 months out. Is what, like, let's say it is April now,
right?
I would send my avails out for July, August, and September.
Okay.
So if they're booked through July, they probably aren't through August and September.
Okay.
And if they have any fallouts.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I try to pick up every fallout. Last week when I didn't have anything, I was like, I just sent emails blindly. Hey, if anyone, it's pilot season. If your headliner gets booked, I'm open. I'm open. I'll show up.
I'll do it.
Nothing happened. But it was okay. I was home and home with my kid, so that was okay.
That is fun. Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to do... I don't know. I want to do more fun stuff around Los Angeles this summer. But I think that...
Like non-comedy stuff?
Yeah.
Oh. Like
I know,
what?
like hang out with my husband. You know, like
right.
go to the Will Rogers park. There's a park and they have a rodeo. And I want to go to it.
Oh, I've heard that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could bring your kid and I don't know, we could go together.
Yeah. I hate to waste any conversation without a mic in front of it.
I know, but I named.
We have a very strange relationship.
We do have a very strange relationship, highlighted by the 7 hours that we have spent together in the last 2 weeks, so that this could happen. I am kind of regretting not bringing my recording equipment, but I don't want to lose it. I don't want Soviet Army to take it.
Oh, sure. Right.
I know the Soviet Union fell, but the Soviet Army is still there.
Yeah, they're out there.
Do you know in 1989, have I told you this? I was in Yugoslavia, and it existed then.
Right.
And I was taking a train through Yugoslavia, and a Soviet soldier took my passport and went into a different car with it.
Really?
And he did it as a joke.
Wow.
And I was freaking out.
Were
And
you
he
there
thought
as
it
a
was
comic
funny.
or a citizen? Just a person?
Just a person. In
wow, that's terrifying. No one to speak up for you.
Right.
What were you doing in Yugoslavia?
I was seeing the world poorly.
Right.
And so
Yugoslavia, had it already broken?
No, it was still Yugoslavia for a heartbeat there. And so I'd spent 3 months in London in the dumbest job. And then I decided to go through Europe. And when I got to Greece, this woman that I was traveling with was like, hey, let's go to Egypt. And I was like, I want to go to Egypt, but I can't stand hanging out with you anymore. So I said, I'm going to go through Yugoslavia to Germany and back to England. And she was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to Egypt. And I was like, thank God. And because I love traveling alone. It's one of my things that I genuinely like.
Yes.
And when I met Andy Ashcraft and I was willing to travel with him, it was a boon.
Do you guys do you like to do different things when you're in a country?
He's a real good sport, that Andy Ashcraft.
Yeah.
So I have a thing.
Anyone married to a comic is a real good sport.
It's true, and he's great. But what was his? When we travel together to other countries, I have a thing where I am willing to get. He wants to see things. He's a big guy for museums and the ruins and the things. He's also willing to go alone. So, like when we went to Southeast Asia, every 6 days, we were there for 18 days. It turned out to be about every 6 days. I was like, I'm taking a spa day. I'm going to lie down. You go do whatever you want to do. And he did. And it was great.
That's
but
perfect.
For the best, for what it is I'm willing to go to 2 museums or a church and a museum or a thing and a thing, as long as there is a lovely lunch and then some coffee at 3 p.m.
I ended up doing a thing with my kid where we would do what I wanted to do, and then we would go back to the hotel and he would watch YouTube.
Because that's what he wanted to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you split it like that.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
It's okay. He's part of a tea ceremony. He learned to cook Kobe beef,
There you go. Did you get to eat Kobe beef?
Yeah.
It's been massaged.
It's delicious.
I bet you it's delicious. I've never had it because in America you can't get it. They call it Wagyu.
It's
which
fake.
is the closest you can get to
it's
it.
not real Kobe
and
beef.
it's not real Kobe beef. Wagyu beef is still excellent.
Yes.
But Kobe beef is noticeably different and better.
I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur. I just knew.
I forgot that about you for just a heartbeat. I'm so sorry.
It's no sourdough toast with salt and butter on it, but it was delicious. We got to be done, right?
We are at 58:55.
Oh, 59 minutes right now. It seems real close, you guys. Hey, thoughts and prayers, everyone. I'm in the middle of probably Kosovo. So I'm hoping I have a Twitter feed. So see you later.
All right, bye.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.